Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Line Talk 99.5, talk995.com, AndrewMcLean, with Andrew McLean and John Bird.
Hey, everybody.
Real Talk 99. Real Talk 99.5 TV is where you can watch us if you ain't. Oh, should I go ahead and set up TikTok? I forgot to do that, John Bird.
Yeah, set up the talk.
Let's set up the talk. The reason I do this is because how does this work? So y'all can talk to me during the commercial
Pull out the
break.
bottom, and then it stretches out.
I think I got it. Let's see. Do a little this. Do a little that. I know this is fast. This is fascinating radio. So for those of y'all listening on the regular radio, you're loving this. Just do a little that, little live. Switch the camera around.
He's doing that.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's what it's all about.
You do the hokey pokey.
And you turn yourself around.
That's what it's all about.
Hey.
All right. Let's see. And zoom in a little bit there. And all right. Now we're up. I think
you moved that mic. You've moved it back.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't give it a shot, man.
No, I don't like it there. It's just it feels weird.
I don't like it there. It hurt my feelings. Come on, man. Tough it out, dude. You can do this.
Gotta get this straightened up.
Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing's going to stop us.
Also got to get some headphones over there. On the tax line, we had Ryan. He said, Trump said we have more oil than anyone else. He says we don't use oil that comes from that route. Why the hell is our prices soared?
Yeah, I'm wondering that.
Well, it's a good question. And it was actually, I kind of talked to some friends after the speech, and I'm like, well, what'd you think? Because I like to kind of get a vibe from people that aren't, always watching this stuff. And I explained to them, we are working towards energy independence, which will make a difference. And really, it's a national security thing, if anything, because as we see, foreign countries could just decide one day they want to stop supplying, countries or us or whatever, certain products. And we don't need to be relying on needs such as that from other countries. Allies or not, at the end of the day. But as far as oil goes, it's a globally traded commodity, which means that it's got a set price that these producers sell it at. It's like if you run a convenience store and you sell a bag of chips for $2, and then the next person comes in and you're like, no, that bag of chips is $4. You can't do that. You got to sell it the same across the board. And because of exports and imports and how everything's so mixed together, you've got to keep it at that set price. So it's just, it's not like the U.S. is the only one that's got oil prices going up. It's happening for everybody. But there are ways to bring that price down. And producing more, us producing or people buying from us is going to affect that, because we don't have a Hormuz Strait that we're going to be closing and things of that nature. So it's really, to simplify it, that's kind of the answer, is that the price of a barrel of oil has to come down globally in order for our gas prices to come down, which I think they will. It's going to be somewhat historical, because when we've seen gas prices go up in the past, they have taken a while to come down. Like when they come down, it's kind of a trickle. It doesn't just have this big, like the floor falls out. It usually takes a while. Well, in this case, and this is just my prediction, I think when we see the drop, it's going to be a pretty dramatic drop because this has been inflated by one particular conflict. And if it comes to an end as abruptly as we feel it will, then you'll see prices, plummet pretty quickly. But that's just a prediction. I have no idea. I'm not dabbling in the global commodity markets. So we'll see. But I do have confidence that that is going to be the case. Another breaking report coming from CNN and the New York Times. President Trump, this is according to CNN and the New York Times. President Trump is mulling firing Attorney General Pam Bondi. And according to them, Joe Bird, your mic's still on, by the way.
I'm sorry, everybody.
According to them, it's over her handling of the Epstein file release, which is strange to me because people keep demanding, and they blame Trump for this, demanding the Epstein files be released, even though millions and millions of files have been released and some are still going through the process or whatever. But they blame it on Trump, and they say the reason they haven't been released is because Donald Trump is hiding something or whatever. But yeah, here we have CNN and the New York Times saying that Donald Trump wants to fire Pam Bondi because she's fumbling the Epstein file release. He's reportedly discussed replacing Pam Bondi with Lee Zeldin, who you know is the EPA chief. Pam Bondi was actually with Donald Trump yesterday at the Supreme Court during the birthright citizenship hearing, and they seem to be in good spirits. He praised, when was asked by CNN, he praised Pam Bondi. He said, Attorney General Bondi is a wonderful person, and she's doing a good job. But CNN says President Donald Trump has privately mused about firing his Attorney General Pam Bondi and replacing her with EAP Administrator Lee Zeldin. Multiple sources familiar with the matter told CNN. Frustrated by the backlash and anger in his base over the administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, Trump has asked people about replacing Bondi, who faces a deposition later this month on Capitol Hill related to the congressional investigation into Epstein. He is also fumed that she hasn't investigated enough of his political opponents. You like the way CNN frames that.
Of course.
She hasn't gone after enough of his political opponents. It's not clear the president has made up his mind. Bondi was with Trump Wednesday, riding in his motorcade as he attended the Supreme Court arguments, blah, 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 blah. New York Times reported that Trump has been frustrated with Pam Bondi's leadership at the DOJ. So, is that true? I don't know. I personally wouldn't take CNN's word on it. I think you could probably just say, wait and see what happens. But what does sound true to me is the fact that what these sources are saying, which is that Donald Trump is talking to other individuals about who he should replace or if he should even fire Pam Bondi, because that's something he does. He goes and he talks to individuals. You remember with Mclain replacing Kristi Noem. Who did he call? He called Senator John Kennedy. And he said, Senator, I'm thinking about moving Kristi Noem. What do you think about Mclain? And Kennedy was like, I like Mclain. He's a good guy. I think you should do it. He likes to hear advice from people. And so any major decision that he makes, especially when it comes to letting someone go or replacing someone, he reaches out to the people that know them best and wants their opinion. And that's got to be one of the most refreshing things for people within Trump's cabinet, and they all say this, is the fact that the president actually wants to hear them out. That's probably not the case in most administrations. In Joe Biden's administration, well, in Biden's administration, it was the opposite. The staffers didn't want to hear him out. They actually handled all the business. But with Barack Obama, You think Barack Obama was taking advice from people? Was it asking anybody and everybody what they thought? Nah. He went in there with a mission. George Bush took advice from a handful of people like Dick Cheney and other warmongers. But, Bill Clinton took advice from people like, I don't know, Jeffrey Epstein and Monica Lewinsky. Okay, so maybe they do take advice to an extent. But Donald Trump wants to hear everybody out. So that's the only thing in this article that gives any credence to me as far as if he's actually going to do that or not. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know how Lee Zeldin would be for a attorney general, but I like him. I think he's good. I think he's done great as the EPA administrator. I don't think you can lose with Lee Zeldin. He may be better than Pam Bondi. There's probably a lot of people better than Pam Bondi. I wish we would have just done this the right way and put Matt Gaetz in there in the first place, because that would have cracked this whole thing wide open. We would have gotten a lot done at that point. You want to talk about exposing some stuff? We would have exposed some stuff at that point. 205-545-9950, 545-9950. Let me hit this break. Coming back on the other side, smoking gun, new FBI documents about the Mar-a-Lago raid. You ain't going to believe your eyes after you hear this.